The journey from then until now has been an interesting one. We found out very quickly after we had Ray Odette excavate for the greenhouse that a whole bunch of water came to the surface and turned the land into quicksand. And we hadn't anticipated that, so we spent a few surprise $1,000 on drainage. I'm still amazed when I walk into the greenhouse that G and his dad and brother, from 81 CAD drawings and no experience whatsoever in building a greenhouse, built what is such a fabulous one. It's a Canadian design, and we're so glad that we went with one that is so structurally strong, because the last few winters with the snow on top of it were pretty nervous ones. Every year, it's been a priority for us. It was Gabriel's idea to host an open house for the community, because we feel it's really important for them to see not only where their food comes from, but to make that connection to the land and see not only are we producing food, but we're creating and protecting a green space there. And many other people before me have talked about that. Yes, the bears ate every last one of our blueberries last year overnight, but we also have so many different species of songbirds and insects that otherwise we had to buy in the greenhouse industry. We bought thousands of dollars worth of insects to combat the bad bugs that were in the greenhouse. They exist naturally. They're everywhere on the farm, and we're really just so fortunate to be stewards of that beautiful property. We try to add new fields in as much a sustainable way as we can. So we develop them roughly at first to give the wildlife and other creatures kind of a chance to readjust, so that we're not driving them out completely. And we hope that along the way we're growing some pretty tasty, nutritional food to be a small part of the food security on the Sunshine Coast. Thank you. So, the business plan versus reality. Our expectation was a large investment of capital would be required to get going, and in fact, a very large investment of capital is required. And Elaine spoke beautifully to that. We hoped that community would be positive about having another source of local food, and in fact, they have been hugely supportive. And we marveled. We would be out working, and people would kind of be creeping along the road, and we'd look back, and they'd be going, "Yay, we're so glad that you kept that farm." They were so glad that we kept that whole property. We didn't subdivide it. We kept it as a farm. And they come and visit our farm stand, which is very good. We knew that production would be less than commercial methods, just economies of scale and logistics and everything else. And that is certainly true, although organics has the potential to be on scale as productive. We're not there yet. We thought that off-farm support would be good for a backup. So one of us, if need be, would work off the farm, and in fact that has been essential. If it weren't for Gabriel working off the farm, we probably wouldn't still be there. The typical ramp up for new business is about 3 years, and for us it has been that, and we're doing great. We have to kind of look around and say, okay, we are making progress, but it's going to take us years and years to kind of put the whole vision in reality. There's many systems to put in place, and the reality is too, with any small business, you have to do it yourself. You can't, you're the ones that have to dig the holes and run the irrigation line and so on. Thank you. So what it takes, how to start, and I'll just preface this by saying this is how we do it. There are many models here of people that have spoken already. This is what we've chosen to do. Any grower knows the plants don't rest, the plants don't take a holiday. People say, "Oh, you ready for the long weekend?" And it's like, what long weekend? didn't know it was coming. So lots of hard work. The ability to make it through several months of the year with no farm income at all, not only when we're not selling things, but perhaps when there are no contracts to be had in off-farm work. Skill sets that allow you to make money off the farm, so it doesn't help to have something to fall back on. And certainly that's the reality of many farms across Canada, is that people, it's not always been financially viable to just work off the farm. The ability to deal with a huge learning curve that never ends. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's kind of mentally daunting sometimes. And Don has been, many of the people here, the farmers here, have been so supportive. I know how to grow greenhouse vegetables. I'm not so good with the squash and kale and stuff. Well, kale. The ability to take risks and deal with setbacks, again, more mentally daunting than anything for me. And I'm fortunate to have a partner who can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So all in all, for us, the future looks bright. We face, as farmers, a real unique set of challenges, many of them you've heard today, but just seeing the passion and the skills and the commitment of our fellow farmers in the community means we know we're on the right track, and we are having a little bit of fun along the way. That's it.